September 2019. A poker commentator sits in a production booth in California watching the live stream of a low-stakes cash game. She sees a player make a decision that makes absolutely no sense. He folds a strong hand that most professionals would have called with, and somehow, impossibly, it's the correct move. His opponent had an even stronger hand. The commentator, Veronica Brill, says something live on air that would soon explode into the biggest cheating scandal in modern poker history. It doesn't make sense. It's like he knows. It's weird. The player she was watching was Mike Postle. Over the next few weeks, the poker world would dive into an internet rabbit hole trying to answer one question. How is a mediocre player suddenly winning at a rate that even the best professionals in the world couldn't match? The answer seemed impossible to believe. Postle appeared to be receiving his opponent's whole cards in real time on his cell phone, fed to him by someone in the production studio. What followed was an unprecedented amateur investigation involving thousands of people, hundreds of hours of footage, a $30 million lawsuit, and a scandal that would permanently change how live-stream poker operates. This is the story of the most public cheating accusation in poker history, and why, despite overwhelming evidence, Mike Postle was never charged with a crime. Mike Postle wasn't always suspicious. For years, he was just a regular poker player in Northern California, grinding low-stakes games with average results. He was known, but not for being particularly skilled. Then, in July 2018, something changed dramatically. Postle started playing regularly on Stone's Live, a popular Twitch stream broadcast from Stone's gambling hall. The show used RFID cards, which have tiny chips that transmit each player's hand to the production team. This lets viewers see everyone's cards, but the broadcast is on a 30-minute delay to prevent cheating. On these streams, Postle's results became absolutely extraordinary. Over 13 months, he won about $250,000 playing low-stakes games. To put that in perspective, those are games where most people might win or lose a few $100s in a night. Postle was winning at a rate professionals couldn't achieve at stakes 10 times higher. But it wasn't just how much he was winning, it was how he was winning. Poker players watching the replays noticed Postle consistently made plays that seemed to show he had perfect information. He'd make massive hero calls with weak hands that just happened to be good. He'd fold strong hands right before losing a huge pot. He'd bluff exactly when his opponent had nothing. Every single decision seemed to maximize his profit in a way that even supercomputers couldn't explain. Professional players said the probability of making that many correct plays was mathematically impossible without some form of cheating. One analyst compared Postle's win rate to Patrippa, an infamous online poker account where a cheater could see everyone's cards. Postle's win rate was actually higher. Veronica Brill had been suspicious for months before she went public. As a commentator, she could see everyone's cards while watching the games. In March 2019, she went to Justin Corrades, the tournament director who also ran the stream, and shared her concerns about Postle. He dismissed her, saying there was no way anyone could cheat. But Brill couldn't shake the feeling something was wrong. In September 2019, she finally voiced her suspicions live on air. A week later, she posted a video compilation of Postle's most suspicious hands. It went viral. What happened next was unprecedented. Joey Ingram, a popular poker podcaster, decided to investigate. He enlisted his followers, known as the Legion, to help analyze every single hand Postle had ever played on the stream. Thousands of people combed through hundreds of hours of footage, breaking down each decision and looking for patterns. What they found was stunning. Postle had a tell. He would constantly look down into his lap where he kept his cell phone, often right before making a big decision. Before his incredible winning streak started in July 2018, Postle kept his phone on the table rail in plain view, like everyone else. But once he started winning, the phone went into his lap and stayed there, out of sight. The timing was too perfect to be a coincidence. The theory that emerged was that someone in the production booth was feeding Postle his opponent's card information in real time. The RFID system captures that data instantly, even though the public broadcast is delayed. Someone with access to the production software could see the cards immediately and send them to Postle's phone. Suspicion quickly fell on Justin Corrades, the director who had dismissed Brill's concerns and was known to be friends with Postle. It also turned out Postle had worked as a consultant for the Stream's production company, giving him insider knowledge of the technology. The poker community was in an uproar. Top professionals like Doug Polk and Matt Berkey all publicly stated they believed Postle was cheating. ESPN's SportsCenter even covered the scandal. The story had everything: a villain constantly staring at his lap, a whistleblower risking her career, and an army of internet detectives. Stone's Gambling Hall first said they found no wrongdoing, but under immense pressure, they shut down all Livestreams and hired an outside investigator. The damage to their reputation was catastrophic. In October 2019, 24 players filed a $30 million lawsuit against Postle, Corrades, and Stone's Gambling Hall. It seemed like justice would finally be served. But in June 2020, a judge dismissed the entire lawsuit, citing an obscure California law. The case against Postle was dismissed with prejudice, meaning it couldn't be refiled. Without a criminal investigation or a civil case, the players who lost money had no real recourse. Postle himself faced no legal consequences. Then, in a shocking move, Postle filed a $3-100- and $30- million defamation countersuit against his main accusers. He claimed his reputation was destroyed by false allegations driven by jealousy. The suit was widely seen as an attempt to silence his critics. Postle has always denied cheating, claiming his success was due to skill and an unconventional playing style. He points out he was never criminally charged and no one ever found hard proof of a cheating device. The problem for Postle's defenders is that the circumstantial evidence is overwhelming. Every pro who analyzed his play agreed his accuracy was impossible. His win rate was higher than confirmed online super users. The timing of his winning streak perfectly matched when he started hiding his phone. And perhaps most tellingly, Postle would leave the casino immediately after a live stream ended, even when he was winning big. As poker pro Doug Polk said, winning players love to play poker. If you're winning at that rate, you never leave the table willingly. In the years since, Postle has mostly disappeared. He declared bankruptcy in 2022. He resurfaced in 2024 at a tournament in Mississippi, playing under a different name. When other players realized who he was, the reaction was furious. The player who knocked him out couldn't resist saying, "That's for all the cheating you've done." The poker community has never forgiven him. The Stone scandal permanently changed live stream poker. Security is now much tighter. Broadcasts have longer delays, access to production areas is restricted, and there are strict rules about cell phones. The industry learned that the technology meant to entertain viewers had also created a massive vulnerability. The most frustrating part of the Mike Postle saga is that despite all the evidence, he was never held accountable. No criminal charges. The civil lawsuit was dismissed. He walks free, having potentially stolen hundreds of thousands of dollars. The whistleblower, Veronica Brill, faced harassment. The investigators spent countless hours for nothing. The poker world was left with a bitter reminder that sometimes, even when everyone knows you cheated, proving it in court is a different game entirely. The Mike Postle scandal is a perfect crime, broadcast live for the world to see, and yet completely unpunishable. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as crazy as I did, hit that subscribe button for more deep dives.